Hey everybody, it's Acid Jake here. I'm just gonna do a tutorial for you guys. One of my friends at school wanted to learn how to use After Effects, and I'm gonna start doing tutorials. I guess it's just gonna give me something to do to upload more, and it's gonna help you guys out and maybe grow my channel. So this video is just gonna be the basics of After Effects. If you already know a lot about it, this video will just be a waste of time for you. But if you don't know anything about it, if you could just leave a like on the video and comment on what you want to see in a tutorial next, I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'd that'd make me happy. So yeah, let's get started here. Let's check my Skype. Okay. So this is After Effects. It may look kind of confusing at first, but it's really not as bad as you think. So pretty much, this is an on-title project. This is basically just what you get whenever you start After Effects up. Uh, there's basically four main things on this window that you need to know about. So first of all, let me import a clip. To import a clip, you can hit File, Import File, and just explore and pick what you want. Or you can just double-click in this box right here, and it will open up. You can just import stuff that way. So I'm just going to import some music and a clip here. Let me find a clip. My computer is kind of being slow right now because I'm running, I don't know why it's lagging, but whatever. So basically that's how you import clips. This little box right here, this window, this is like your project. It says right there, projects. This holds everything you import right here, and you can to stay organized. You can always add a folder in and just type in clips, and then drag that into the folder. And you can do like songs or whatever, and drag that in. I always do that because it helps me stay organized, and I think it really helps. And you can make another one for compositions. This is what I usually do every single time I start a new edit. So that's easy for me. And so to import your clip in, you're just gonna drag it over here into this open space, or you can drag it down into this space. That will pretty much make this composition as long as the clip is. You can either go in here and go you right click on this little tab and go composition settings, and you can just change composition name to either final, edit, and then however long you think the edit is going to be. Say you want it to be 2 minutes, you just type in 2, 0, and that's how long your comp will be. So yeah, this little button right here, this zooms it. This is like your timeline, I guess you could say. It's not as easy to understand as Sony Vegas, but once you understand what's going on, it's pretty simple. This thing right here zooms in and out. So this is your whole composition. This is your whole 2 minutes. So this ends over here at 7 minutes and 35 seconds. So yeah, that's your clip. And this clip is from my friend Finest. He's a great guy. One of my longest Xbox friends. Get some sick clips, and I'll leave a link to him in the description because he is sick. So yeah, this is just one of his clips. But regardless, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what else to say. These in Sony Vegas, you know how you can just hit spacebar or play and it'll play the clip. Well, in After Effects you can't do that. You have to RAM preview, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But to RAM preview, you can either hit 0 on your number pad on your keyboard, or you can go over to this button right here and you can click that. It doesn't really matter what you do, but yeah, this is being real slow right now because I'm doing the hypercam, but that will RAM preview your clip, and then when you hit spacebar or whatever and play it, my bad. So yeah, it'll play your clip for you. And that's how you preview your composition. You can't just hit spacebar or just play frame by frame and it's really laggy or whatever. But if you want to import music, that's usually what you should do first. Drag your song in the comp, then it'll make your composition as long as the song. But to get to, you know how like in Sony Vegas there's usually a waveform of the song and then you can sync to the beats, and you may be thinking, Jake, how do you edit in After Effects when you can't see the beats to the song? Well, right now you can't see them, but if you go over here and click on this little arrow pointing to the right, you click on that, click on audio, and click on waveform. It'll pop up here in a second, but and so there's your waveform for your audio. To put markers in, I think you can just hit the asterisk, and that'll put in markers. So just like Vegas hitting M, so you can mark certain points, and you can do that while you're RAM previewing as well. To cut a clip, you would just click on it and hit Control-Shift-D, and that will split it. And then you can just delete the other layer if you would like. Or you can Control-Z that. You can hit Alt and the bracket key, and that will trim it to wherever you want it to be. Say you want, like, if I wanted to cut this part out, I would hit the left bracket. If I want to cut the other side out, I'd hit the right bracket. So just play around with that a little bit. You can always just trim it down by clicking on the edges like this, like you can in Sony Vegas. And if you would like to make the clip longer, like slow it down like in Sony Vegas by hitting Control, you just go to a time, enable time remapping, and then you can drag this out. And then what you have to do is drag this keyframe out, so that will just make it slow motion. If you just want to make a certain part slow motion, what you would do was say from here to, you just would come over here, click to add a keyframe, and go forward a few frames. And to go forward a few frames, you just hit Control and the left or right arrow key, and it'll just go frame by frame. So if I wanted to go to, say, slow motion to right where it shoots, I would just hit here to add another keyframe. Then you can't just drag this out. You have to take both these keyframes right here, and it'll drag it out. So then it'll be a longer. That keeps the audio intact, but whenever you use something like Twixtor, it will keep the audio normal. So you have to add in your own gunshots and mute the layer by going over here and hit that little thing that turns the sound on or off. And this little eye will turn the layer on and off if you don't want to see it. So let me go over some of like the tools for After Effects. Some of these up here, this is the camera tool. You really don't need to know about that. This is the rectangle tool, which can also be changed. If you click and hold on it, you can change it to a different kind of tool. And what this does, it pretty much just makes, you just click and drag and you can make like a rectangle or something like that. Not really important. This tool is the pen tool. It's kind of you can use this to use mask transitions and whatnot. I'll go over this in a later tutorial. It's pretty cool. This is a text tool. You click on that, and wherever you want your text to be, just click and you can type it in. That will just make like a new layer of text. And to shorten it, say you just want it to be 3 seconds. You can just click on your layer or whatever, and just hit Alt in the bracket and trim it down. And to move it around, you would want to click over here back on your regular mouse selection tool. Then you can move it around. If you want to edit your text, you just click back on the text tool and type in. And just click in here. I just realized I messed up. You can just highlight this and then come over to, this is your paragraph thing. This comes up when you use text, that'll center it or whatever, but I don't use that. Come over to character, and this will change the size or whatever, and you can add strokes in and change the font and stuff like that. This will make it like the spacing longer. And to change this, you can either just click over on here and select it, or you can drag. You can click and drag, and when you hit shift, it goes faster. So yeah. Trying to think of some other basic things I can teach you guys. This button right here does the RAM preview. Like, I think I already said that. Yeah, not much else to say. If you want to center your text, you can always come to this little thing right here and hit title action safe, and this brings up like a grid, and then you can hit the little selection tool, drag it into the middle. So that's centered right there. So just like mess around with your After Effects. That's pretty much all you really need to know. Like for like shortcuts and whatnot. It's a pretty basic program. If you're good with computers, this thing over here, this will bring up all your effects, and so will if you select a layer and hit Effect. That'll bring up your effects, and whenever you're done with your composition, if you're doing a big project, you usually have like 50-60 layers over here. What I usually do is I click on the top one, hit shift, click on the bottom one, right click and hit pre-compose. This will move everything into another like layer just like this, and so then you can add your finishing touches. You can either do you can just add magic bolt looks to that, or you can do you can like zoom it in. You can, oops, my bad. If you just click on your layer and hit like P, you can like change the position or stuff like that. This is usually what I do just for like my final render, and then I'll just render the pre-comp like this. But if you want to get back to your layers, you just double click on here and it'll take you right back. So it pretty much just makes it a whole new composition within a composition. Once you understand what like the pre-composing does, you'll use it all the time. See, I'm saying probably 600 times right now, but I don't care. Just said it again. If you want to add color corrections and stuff like that, you can go layer, new, and just hit adjustment layer. And what an adjustment layer does is it's not scene or anything. You just you can add effects to it, and it adds that to everything underneath it. So if I wanted to do color correction just for the clip and not the text, I would just drag it under the text or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much most of the basic things about After Effects. There's not really much, like, you pretty much just have to use it to understand what's going on. I hope that covered some basics for you guys. Just remember, like, cutting clips, Control Shift D or Alt in bracket. 0 to random preview. You can't just hit play. This should have covered a lot of just basic things. So, yeah, if this helped you out at all, hit the like button and leave a comment as another tutorial. If you want to see how I do Twixtor, Real Smart Motion, Blur, Magic Bullet looks, any kind of effects that I know, I can do that for you. Optics compensation, that's a pretty sweet effect. Black bars, I can do even more stuff. Masking, transitions, stuff like that. Just any kind of tutorials you guys want to see, just leave the comment and like and subscribe. And this was my first tutorial, so I hope it wasn't too awful. So I'll see you guys later. This is Acid Jake. Peace.